Picture this, the NFL Draft, a three-day spectacle filled with dreams come true, disappointments, surprises, and one of the most bizarre controversies in recent sports history. At the center of it all, the Cleveland Browns. A franchise no stranger to unpredictability, they now find themselves at the epicenter of what some are calling the most controversial storyline of the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's get into all the details, but first, watch this video if you've been a Browns fan for more than 25 years and comment, if you can, Go Browns! Now, it all starts with a quarterback, a name that has been echoing around college football for months, Shedeur Sanders, projected as a top 5 pick, a star with swagger, pedigree, and a big game to back it up. But by the end of draft weekend, Sanders was no longer walking across the stage in the first round. He wasn't even selected on day 2. No, he fell all the way to the 144th pick, to the Cleveland Browns. And with that, everything changed. It wasn't just a drop. It was a free fall, a drop that stunned analysts and fans alike. ESPN's Mel Kiper could barely contain his frustration during the broadcast. Social media exploded. Memes circulated. Rumors swirled. Why did this happen? And, most importantly, what happens next? Here's where it gets even crazier. A Colorado fan, fueled by outrage and heartbreak, decided to take the NFL to court. That's right, filed a lawsuit. According to MSNBC and journalist Jordan Rubin, this unnamed fan, referred to only as Doe, is suing the NFL for a whopping $100 million in punitive damages because of the emotional distress caused by Sanders' dramatic draft day slide. The lawsuit accuses the league of violating antitrust laws, civil rights, inflicting emotional distress, and even breaching consumer protection standards. The plaintiff also demands a public apology or retraction of what he calls slanderous statements about Shedeur and reforms to ensure a fairer draft process. It's the kind of storyline you'd expect from a movie. But this is real. And it's unfolding in real time with the Browns caught right in the middle. The lawsuit also takes aim at one specific incident, a prank call that disrupted Shedeur's draft night. Apparently, Sanders had been given a private phone by the league for official use during the event. But that number somehow got leaked. The culprit? Jax Ulbrich, the son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. He spoofed a call that added to the confusion and chaos surrounding Sanders' big night. While it was ultimately a prank, it became a symbol of how off the rails this draft night had gone. And it wasn't just the fall that caused the stir, it was what came before it. Reports flooded in of poorly handled team interviews. Whispers about his physical tools not translating. Debates about whether his superstar father, Deion Sanders, was more of a help or a hindrance. Suddenly, teams that once had him in their top 10 were pulling back, and fast. Even the New York Giants, who were rumored to have interest, leapfrogged up the board to draft Jackson Dart instead. When that pick was announced at number 25, the writing was on the wall. As the dust settled, the Browns made not one, but 2 significant moves at quarterback. Before Sanders, they had already taken Dillon Gabriel, the Oregon standout, in the 3rd round with pick number 94. This set the stage for a quarterback room loaded with intrigue and drama. Gabriel, the bird-whispering signal caller, yes, he predicted his draft pick by mimicking bird calls in Hawaii, versus Sanders, the headline-grabbing prodigy. Both were Heisman finalists. Both took unconventional paths. And now, they're heading into Browns training camp ready to compete for a shot at the starting job. Gabriel comes in with momentum. He led the Ducks to a 13-1 season, a Big Ten title, and a Rose Bowl appearance. And his pick wasn't a fluke. Whether it was luck, intuition, or an inside tip, he called it before it happened. That kind of confidence plays in a locker room. That kind of magic gets people talking. On the other side, you have Sanders. Determined. Humbled. Hungry. His arrival in Cleveland wasn't the dream he imagined, but it might just be the opportunity he needs. And let's not ignore the symbolism. Stripped of his iconic number 2 jersey, worn by W.R. DeAndre Carter, Sanders will wear a new number for the first time in his career. A clean slate. A new chapter. There's even more fire under him now thanks to a message from none other than Tom Brady. The 7-time Super Bowl champion, who once fell to the 199th pick himself, reached out to Sanders after the draft. His words? Use it as motivation. You're going to get your chances. Go take advantage of it. That's a pep talk from the GOAT. It doesn't get more real than that. The Browns made the decision to bring Sanders into training camp starting May 9th. And from that point on, it's all about performance. This isn't about narratives or lawsuits. It's about who can command the huddle, lead the offense, and take the Browns to the next level. And now, I want to hear from you, Browns Nation. What do you think about this wild turn of events? Did Cleveland strike gold with these two quarterbacks? Is the lawsuit justified or completely ridiculous? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The quarterback battle brewing in Cleveland is unlike anything we've seen in years. You've got two dynamic players, both with national spotlight resumes, both arriving with a chip on their shoulder, but for completely different reasons. Dillon Gabriel, the confident leader out of Oregon, walks into Berea with the swagger of someone who's already proven he can carry a high-powered offense. He's polished, media-friendly, and apparently has a sixth sense for bird language. The viral video of him predicting his exact draft slot, pick 94 to the Cleveland Browns, was more than a moment of internet gold. It showed how locked in he was. This wasn't just fun and games. It was a glimpse of a guy who believes his story is already written. Then there's Shedeur Sanders. The headlines followed him long before he ever put on a Browns hat. And when the cameras stopped rolling and the analysts moved on, he was still standing there with something to prove. His journey has been humbling. From the glitz of being Deion Sanders' son to the sudden silence of a Day 3 selection, Shedeur has seen both ends of the spectrum. But here's the key, he's still standing. Still fighting. And now, with Cleveland, he's been handed the opportunity to rewrite everything. There's no sugarcoating it, Sanders didn't help himself during the pre-draft process. Questions about his interviews with teams, concerns about decision-making under pressure, and a lingering sense that the off-field noise was starting to outweigh the on-field potential all led to that shocking fall. But what separates good athletes from great ones is resilience. And Shedeur has every reason to bounce back. He's already been through adversity. 6 offensive coordinators during his college career? That alone would break most quarterbacks. But Sanders kept pushing. And don't forget the legacy looming over all of this. Deion Sanders isn't just a Hall of Famer. He's a cultural icon. And his presence, whether through press conferences, media appearances, or just the sheer weight of his name, hangs over Shedeur like a spotlight and a shadow at the same time. The Browns organization is betting that the son can step out of that shadow and shine on his own. In a league that chews up and spits out young quarterbacks every season, the Browns are doing something bold. They've created a real competition. Not a token gesture. Not a depth chart formality. An actual open battle. Gabriel versus Sanders. Talent versus promise. Stability versus spark. And if you're a Browns fan, this is the exact kind of drama you want to see heading into the summer. 2 young quarterbacks with something to prove, going head-to-head under the Cleveland sun. Every throw, every rep, every preseason snap, it all matters. Because beyond the headlines and the lawsuits and the social media noise, this is football. And the Browns just might be sitting on one of the most fascinating quarterback stories in the NFL this season. Now, Browns fans, what do you make of this quarterback clash? Who are you rooting for, Gabriel or Sanders? Let me know in the comments and stay tuned, because this battle is just getting started. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more news. Go Browns!